We'll talk more now about our top story, 3 young American women who were held captive for a decade. Joining me is author Regina Brett from Cleveland, Ohio. Now, she knew Amanda Berry's mother, Luana, and regularly wrote about the case. Regina, thank you very much for joining me. Tell me first about your involvement or how you have been following the case.
Well, when Amanda Berry went missing back in 2003, her mother called me, Luana Miller, to complain that the media wasn't covering it big enough. We didn't have it on the front page. I think we treated it more like the girl might have run away at the time. So I went to her house and I interviewed Luana, and she started calling me routinely to say, you need to write more about Amanda, because she knew Amanda did not run away. Amanda left money on the dresser. She didn't take things that she loved with her. And I think she had that mother's intuition that her child was still alive out there.
Unfortunately, Regina, her mother died, didn't she, some years ago?
Yes, her mother passed away in 2006, and she was 43 years old. The doctor says she died of heart failure, but I really think Luana Miller died of a broken heart. She missed her daughter Amanda every day. Imagine your worst day and repeating that day after day, the loss of your daughter and not really knowing what happened to her. And boy, she could have been here on Monday to see Amanda walk out of that house. What a victory that would have been for everybody.
Indeed, it would have been, of course, a mother's dream come true after those horrific events. You've obviously been following this case closely. You've seen how the community has reacted. What do you make of it? All of a sudden, these ladies have appeared. We're seeing some holes, perhaps, in the investigation, in the case, in the way that this was followed. What are your observations?
Well, you know, it's so hard to believe that they were hidden in plain sight in a regular neighborhood in the same house for all those years. And we're having people tell us now that they saw, you know, a woman at the window pounding one day. Somebody else said there was a naked woman crawling in the backyard once. But over the span of 100 years, I don't think anybody, 100 years, over 10 years, nobody connected the dots. And I think that, you know, we have to really look at the police and did they respond to every call? How did they respond to every call? And also, how did they treat runaways in general? The 3 women that were in the house all started off as teenagers who were missing. And I just don't know if they worked hard enough right at the start and looked at them as kidnappings and not runaways.
Regina, tell me how the community is going to react now. These 3 women, of course, they're in hospital at the moment and being observed, but the assumption is that they will be integrated back into the community, which is going to be hard not only for them, but also for the community, which perhaps may feel it failed them in some way.
Well, I think the initial reaction has been total celebration. We never thought we'd ever see these women again. I mean, they're missing 11 years, 10 years, 9 years. No one ever imagined they would be found alive. So there's great celebration in Cleveland. But now people are starting to get a little angry that all the mistreatment for those 10 years and the trauma. And so I think there's going to be a little shift in an examination of the police tactics and even of the neighborhood. Did the neighbors pay attention enough? And then these women are going to get back into their lives and going to need a lot of help. So I hope the community pulls together for them.
Regina, just briefly, do you know anything of the conditions in the house? Have you heard anything about that, or of reports that, of course, Amy Berry had a daughter?
Well, we do know for sure Amanda Berry had a daughter, a little girl. I think she's around 6 years old. And of course, it was by one of the men in the house because she hasn't been out of that house. We have heard that they were all malnourished. They were not fed well. I don't think any of them saw a doctor or a dentist in 10 years. The house apparently was a mess inside. I don't know how much they had to eat. And apparently they had been locked up. There were padlocks on the door. So they were kept as prisoners for 10 years. I can't imagine the abuse they went through. We're hearing, you know, things from the family that they had been hit, might have had miscarriages when they were pregnant, been hit by the men. It's all unfolding as we speak.
Regina Brett, thank you so much. I know this is a case very close to your heart, especially as you were in such close contact with Amanda Berry's mother. Thank you for taking the time to talk to me today.
Thanks for covering this.
Thank you.